These are 3 things to watch for in your older horses. We actually have a number of senior horses here at Celador Farm, and I take great pride in keeping them looking their best. Weight or condition loss due to the inability to process long stalk hay. So a lot of older horses, as they age, lose the ability to process the long stalk, regular flake of hay that we give them. Sometimes it's IBS or a variety of other reasons. But we switch them from the long stalk hay, which is like this, I pulled this just off of a flake of hay, to a chopped hay or a soaked pellet or cube. This is the chopped hay. You can see the difference. The horses tend to have a much easier time breaking this down and processing this than they do the full long stalk hay as it comes in a bale. Their teeth. This is an actual tooth that we pulled out of my 32-year-old stallion last year. And what happens is the horses are born with their teeth very long. They go way up in their head, and then they slowly move down as they grind them down. They move down and kind of eject a little bit more tooth, a little bit more tooth. But eventually when they're old, they run out of tooth. And the teeth get very loose. When they start to get loose, it's much easier for food or other things to get kind of packed up inside of the socket when a tooth is loose, and they can get an infection or an impaction in there that can cause a real problem. Once they're loose, they're easy to loosen more. So if you wind up with a dentist or a vet that does a lot of power tools or a lot of heavy work in a horse's mouth with very loose teeth, I have known dentists that have wound up accidentally loosening many of the horse's teeth, and they wound up losing a whole bunch at once. And it is sometimes hard for the horses to survive. Cushing's disease, also known as PPID. This is commonly seen in older horses, can be seen in younger horses as well. The general symptoms are muscle wasting, abnormal fat pockets. A lot of times we'll see them at the top of the tail on either side of the dock, the top of the shoulder, and a very crusty neck. Poor coat quality, it can get very long and almost curly, and an inability to shed well. They have a higher risk of laminitis and a poorer immune system. Cushing's is actually caused by a tumor that grows in the pituitary gland and disrupts the dopamine, the ACTH, and the cortisol levels in the blood. There is a drug called Pergolide that the horse can live on for the rest of its life that can help with all of these symptoms. Disclaimer, I am not a veterinarian, so as always, check with your vet before you're making any changes, doing any diagnostics, or giving your horses any medication. This is a horse that I have that has Cushing's. He's in his 20s, and he is on Pergolide, but I'm going to show you the fat pads. So you can see he has a fairly normal hindquarter, and then he has this bump here. And that's actually a fat pocket that's abnormal. So it's up here, jiggle, jiggle. He's got one on each side. His neck isn't too bad, and then he has one right here as well. He does live on the Pergolide, so these aren't bad, but for reference.